Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in the studio. You know what to do by now. Get involved in all the comments and the chat. There's loads to talk about because it's deadline day. It's my favourite day of the year. Well, my second favourite day behind Pancake Day. Absolutely love a transfer. And Manchester United invariably do loads of transfers on deadline day because we're usually scrambling around, trying to get rid of players, trying to bring players in. And today has been no different. We've actually already announced one, official. We've done it, Comunicado, or communicate. What's the word? Is it Comunicado Official? Thank you, producer Joseph has just informed me. Yeah, the club announcing the signing of Altay. How do you say it? We've done this. Bayindir. Altay Bayindir from Fenerbahce. 4.3 million, I think, is the deal. On a contract till 2027. I think there's an option for another year. Turkish international. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours, as Stevie Wonder said. Comes in as Dean Henderson leaves, makes a lot of sense. Erik ten Hag wants 3 goalkeepers. We've got Andre Onana, we've got Tom Eaton, and now we've got Altay Bayindir. Do you know what I love about this as well, right, is the fact that we've done it, and everyone was doing this, right? The club announced it, and yet everyone was just sharing Romano. It was like, you've got the official like statement and picture and everything from the club, and everyone was just going, we've had the here we go, we've had the thing, and it's like, I think the club were actually before the here we go. But everyone just loves Romano now, don't they? Today's Romano day, and we're no different because we do. So, yeah, get involved in the comments in the chat. Do you know a lot about this kid? Listen, there's something interesting here. It's the fact that Andre Onana is back into the Cameroonian fold, isn't he? So, it looks like he could be going to the African Cup of Nations it's around winter time, innit, over there. So, if he is going to go and he is going to miss some games, then the likelihood is this kid is going to get matches for Manchester United. He's going to play an important part in Manchester United's season, because if we lose our goalkeeper for, I don't know how long it'd be for, let's say we just lost him for 5 games, just as pulling that figure out of the air, those are, you know, in an important part of the season. Goalkeeper, obviously, a vital position. This kid's going to have to come in and play some important matches for Manchester United. So, Erik ten Hag wanted him. Erik ten Hag's got him. Happy days. You look at it, you saw Dean Henderson going for around 15 million quid with add-ons up to 20 million quid. This kid's coming in for around, I think it's around 4.3 million quid, something like that. Hopefully that leaves a little bit more money in the kitty for other signings. Let us know what you think about the signing of Bayindir. I've just said that wrong already, Anna. Bayindir. I want to get it right, and I'll try my best. Paul Gill in the super chat says, "Morning, Jay. Love when I get to catch the live shows. Keep up the great work, lads. Would love a win this weekend. GGMU and up the Paddock." Thank you, Paul. Thanks for your support as well, bro. It is much appreciated. Loads of people in the comments. We're going to get into it. Stephanie Griffiths says, "Closer than close," reference to not just our thumbnail, but also the Rosie Gaines tune, I think it is. Jamie White says, "The Turkish lad is already in Manchester." Yeah. What do you reckon, Joe? Do you reckon, right, if he buys a house in Altrincham, his nickname will be Altay Bayindir? I love that. Yeah? You having that one? Altay, yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Good. Get involved in the comments. Joe's having it. Are you having it? Greg McKenzie says, "What free agents?" I don't know what that's in reference to. AF, who's been a member of the Academy for 21 months, says, "Big love from Saudi." Big love to you. Thank you for your support as well. Thank you to everyone who's joined our members group. You get extra content on the members side as well, on the members channel as well, so go and check that out if you get a chance, because we put different stuff up there, behind the scenes stuff, vlogs, and the fantasy football stuff as well. Colin Coupleditch says, "Morning all." Randy McNabb says, "Morning, Jay. Your little face always brightens my day." Thank you. What a lovely sentiment. Right, Bayindir done, or Bayindir, yeah, done. We've got him. He's announced, official. We've seen him next to ten Hag signing his contract, yeah. We don't need to worry about that. Sergio Reguilon, what is happening with him? We had a here we go last night. If you were watching this channel, you'll see me going live in my kitchen talking about it. Now, we've got Ornstein, who is the Joe Frazier to Fabrizio Romano's Muhammad Ali, or you might argue it's the other way around. He's saying Sergio Reguilon has signed Manchester United contract and final paperwork being completed before move from Spurs confirmed. Exit Spurs on season-long loan, no fee or buy option, break clause in Jan, full wage covered by United. Now, I don't do this very often, but I'm going to sort of maybe not defend, but appreciate or understand why United are doing this. Because I've seen a lot of criticism. I was watching Sky last night, and there was one of the presenters was like laying into United about this. Oh, why are United scrambling around for a left back the day before transfer deadline day, as it was, yesterday. The club's a shambles, and the presenter I know is a City fan, so it got me back up a little bit. But one of the guys on the panel, Dama Stefan, another lad as well, whose name escapes me, was saying, well, look, Manchester United have two left backs in Tyrell Malacia and Luke Shaw. We know that Tyrell Malacia is out for a few weeks, whatever it is. So we still had Luke Shaw. So you think, okay, we've got Luke Shaw until Malacia is fit, and then we've got two left backs. But Luke Shaw's our first choice left back anyway, so we're okay. Just, get to the sort of international break or just after then, we'll be fine. Luke Shaw gets injured, so you've lost two left backs. Now, if you lose both your left backs, then the transfer window is still open. The logical thing to do is bring in a short-term option, which is what United have done. Now, also, you've got to remember, you're not going to go out and get Chelsea or Spurs or City or anyone's first choice left back on loan. They're not just going to go, yeah, what do you want, Ben Chilwell? Yeah, you can have him. That's not going to happen. So you're going to try and get someone who isn't getting in one of those teams but is available. So I understand why we're going for the likes of Cucurella and for Reguilon. It kind of makes sense. Now people go, well, we can't get a Chelsea team, why are we getting him? Or we can't get a Spurs team, why are we getting him? Because we can't get their first choice to come in as our loan option. That's just not going to happen. And we're not going to be able to sign someone on a permanent deal because we only want them probably till January, if even that long. So it's got to be a loan move, and it's got to be someone who's available. And if you are going to go for someone who is available, you can get on loan, you want someone preferably who's got a bit about them. So the thing with Reguilon is he's not amazing. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh my God, Sergio Reguilon, oh my, prayers have been answered. But we know he's got experience in the Premier League. He's played for Real Madrid. He's got a bit of pedigree about him. And if Eric Ten Hag's looked at him and gone, look, I can get a tune out of this kid. He can fit into my system. He can play some matches for Manchester United. And the club is saying, look, we might not need him past January, so we need a break clause. They've got it. It makes sense. And let's not forget as well, Cucurella was first choice, seemingly for us. He was going to be our main option. But then he went and played in the Carabao Cup. And that kind of put the kibosh on that one, didn't it? Because it's like, well, he's cup side now. And also, I think Chelsea wanted a bit more money for him, which, yes, it's annoying that we still haven't got as much money as we should have, but that's a different story. So this one makes sense to me, getting in Sergio Reguilon. Let me know what you think in the comments. Shakespeare says, can Harry play left back, question mark. I don't know. Bintesh Patel says, shuts 11 p.m. Yeah, talk about the window. It shuts 11 p.m. tonight. Fabian says, I hope Alvaro Fernandez gets playtime. Well, I'd like to see that happen, but you think there's a reason why the manager is going, look, I need to bring in a left back. We've always done this, and I'm the worst one for it. With youngsters, I say, just play the youngsters. Why isn't Zidane Iqbal getting minutes? That's what I was saying last year when we had midfield problems. Why isn't Charlie Savage getting minutes before he went out on loan? And then obviously he's gone now on permanent deal. But you've got to trust the manager. He must look at these youngsters and go, this is not ready. There's something there where I'm better off bringing someone in. And if that's the better way to nurture some of the youngsters as well, then I'm all for it. Right, I think we've got a Sofyan Amrabat update. If I can, sorry. So we've got this from Ornstein. It says, Manchester United, Director of Football Negotiations, Matt Hargreaves, has flown to Italy as United tried to sign Sofyan Amrabat from Fiorentina. No agreement between clubs to 27-year-old Moroccan international as things stand. But our Director of Football Negotiations, Matt Hargreaves, has gone to Italy to get this deal done. Now listen, Sofyan Amrabat has done everything he can. I mean, he's 2 steps away from going on hunger strike, this kid. Seriously, he can't do any more to try and make this move happen. There was talk that Fulham were in for him, and apparently he's just having none of it. He's having none of it with anyone other than Manchester United. It's like he's a diehard red. He's mint, because that's what you want. You want players that want to play for you, and he certainly wants to play for Manchester United. Now it seems United are going over there to get this deal done. Obviously, the clock is ticking. We've got just over 12 hours left of the transfer window to get this deal done. But it looks like there's things happening there. And you would think that we should be able to get this done. Because it's not like, I think this is, we can still do that. I think it's a loan with an obligation to buy, perhaps. So it should be a doable deal. The Director of Football Negotiations, which is a new one on me, is gone over there. Hopefully we can get this done, because I think now, Amrabat, I don't know, I know people get a bit hysterical, don't they, on socials, especially on transfer deadline day. And it's like, oh my God, if we don't get this signing, then the world's going to spin off its axis. But I do feel like we need this lad. We need another midfielder coming in because Kobbie Mainoo's injured. I think he would have got minutes. Obviously, Fred's gone, Mount's injured, and we're so reliant on Casemiro. And there's times when Casemiro needs a breather. I'm not just talking about that's without addressing the fact that now and again he gets suspended. So we need someone else as an option. Now you might say, well, Scott McTominay's that option. I'm going to get to Scott McTominay in a minute. But Sofyan Amrabat certainly looks like someone who fits the bill. The manager knows him. He wants him. He wants to come here. I've not seen a lot of him. I've seen him in the World Cup and the odd game for Fiorentina, the Europa Conference final. But he certainly looks like a player that could come in and do a job, whether that is alongside Casemiro or stepping in when Casemiro is either rested or not available. It makes a lot of sense. We just need to get this deal done. Everything is in place for it to happen. Matt Hargreaves, who's the director of football negotiations, has flown over to Italy to get it done. So now it just seems like you're waiting for that news, that update that is going to happen. Colin Coupleditch says, this is also last minute, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It is a little bit last minute. And I think with the Amrabat one, it's not quite the same as the left-back situation. I think we should have really and truly made moves before deadline day for this kid. But maybe there's a little bit of, well, we needed to move on certain players. Dean Henderson, I think there's a difference between what we're paying for Bayindir to what we got from Dean Henderson is a little bit over. Maybe that's going towards his fee. Maybe there's a reason there. Plus there's the fact that Mason Mount got injured as well. Maybe that's affected the thinking as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, it does feel a bit, it is all lastminute.com. But if we get it over the line, then happy days. That for me is a decent window. If we get in Onana, Højlund, Mount, Bayindir, Reguilon and Amrabat, is that not decent? 6 players coming in, albeit one of them, one of them's just on a loan to replace an injured player. But that seems like sensible business, and it's realistic business. Ideally, I'd have wanted another striker. I was saying that all last season. We need 2 strikers in the summer. I didn't think it was going to happen. I said that, but I'd want more than just one striker. But obviously, that's not happening. You'd probably argue we could do with a bit of centre-back cover too. But I think from what you can realistically expect, that's not too shabby. Get involved in the comments and the chat. Hit that like button as well. Let us know what you think. Witterbird says, is it true that Luton Town is after Donny? Ted Mengi's gone to Luton, hasn't he? So I don't know what's happening with Donny van der Beek. We've not really heard much. There was an update in Evening News which didn't really tell us anything. It was just that Donny van der Beek, is still available. There was what looked like concrete interest from Real Sociedad, but that cooled very quickly. And from what I was hearing as well, I'm not ITK by any stretch of imagination, but I was hearing it looked like everyone assumed that was a done deal, that he was got to Sociedad, there wasn't any issue there. It was just a matter of when, not if. And yet, for some reason, it just doesn't look like it's happening now. I'd be very surprised actually if Donny van der Beek left today. I mean, he might do. He's still there. It's just really sad, isn't it, with Donny van der Beek? Me and Joe were talking about this on Transfers Live the other night. This is a kid who had such a great time of it. Ajax, Champions League semi-final, Ballon d'Or nominee, absolutely flying. Comes to United, everyone was buzzing about that transfer, except Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably. Doesn't really happen for him. Keeps picking up injuries, goes out on loan, gets injured when he's on loan, comes back, his old manager comes to United. You think that's perfect for you. The manager that sort of believed in you at Ajax is now here at Manchester United. You're going to get minutes. And he picks up that season-ending injury against Bournemouth, I think it was. So it's just been a bit of a horror show for the kid. And I do feel for him because I think he's 26 now. He needs to be playing football, not sitting on the bench for Manchester United. Hit that like button. There's almost 2,000 people watching. We haven't even got to 200 likes. Come on, let's get to 400 likes. We can do it, people. Princess Diara says, we need Amrabat. Renato Tello says, if Amrabat comes, do we bench Casemiro? I don't know if it's going to be a rotation thing or maybe the players a double pivot. I think, and I don't know, I just said that, it'll be someone who's going to come in for when Casemiro needs a breather. Even if it's towards the end of the game, you're going like, you've got a bit of a cushion. Let's bring in Amrabat just to give Casemiro a breather. But we'll see. Erik ten Hag may have other ideas. The main thing is we get him in. That's the most important thing. There's also a question of what is going to happen with other midfielders, including Scott McTominay. Now, there could be a bit of a story here, a bit of a domino theory, shall we say. Palhinha has been linked very heavily with a move to Bayern Munich. It looks like that could happen. Palhinha, I think Sky, Patrick Berger is a friend of the channel. They can see, he says FC Bayern closing in on a deal for Fulham's João Palhinha. Club set to agree on a fee of around, is it 58 million quid? Coach Marco Silva has given green light, depends on Fulham board now, just a matter of time. They're going to miss him. He's a very, very good player for Fulham, and he had a good season last season, and he was a huge part of that. So, you just look at it. They lost Mitrovic as well, didn't they, Fulham? I mean, they're getting rid of a few big players for them. If I was a Fulham fan, I'd be a little bit concerned about this policy, to be honest with you, especially when you're not giving yourself much time to bring someone in. But one player you might be able to bring in is Scott McTominay. There are rumours and reports doing the rounds that Scott McTominay could be on Fulham's radar. If they get Palhinha gone, if he goes to Bayern Munich, which it looks like he's going to do, I think that deal's going to happen, then Fulham could come in for Scott McTominay. Now, United apparently turned down 30 million quid from West Ham for Scott McTominay, so it's going to take a bit more than that to get him to go to Fulham, but it could happen. The only other twist in this, I think, is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Remember him? He was on his way to United about 3 days ago, wasn't he? Well, he's in the mix as well for Fulham, so it'll be interesting to see what goes down there. If Højbjerg goes to Craven Cottage, Scott McTominay ain't. But if he doesn't, then there's a good chance Scott McTominay could go to Fulham if they come in with a bid that United are going to accept. I think, from my memory, we've already got someone, I think the Daily Mail are already going with the fact that Fulham are putting in an offer for Højbjerg, a 25 million quid offer for Højbjerg. So it looks like he's now their main target. I think that's from late last night as well. So we'll see what goes on there. If Spurs are willing to let him go, and let's face facts, they were trying to get rid of him not long ago. It looked like they were trying to get rid of him to us at one point. So if that happens, I don't see Scott McTominay go to Craven Cottage. If it doesn't, maybe Fulham turn their attention to Scott McTominay. The thing with McTominay is, from what we were hearing, I think we spoke to Chris Wheeler from the Mail a couple of months ago, and he said that there was this list, wasn't there? There was like this sort of super list of United players, and there was those that United wanted rid of. So, your Dean Hendersons, probably your Donny van der Beeks, to be honest with you. I know Sorry? Eric Bailly, your Alex Tellez's, those types of players, the ones that are they're done. Then there was the players that you'd like to get rid of if you can. Your Harry Maguires, your Anthony Martials, probably. Then there's the players you don't really want to get rid of, but if a good offer came in for him, you'd have it. Your Jadon Sancho's, potentially. Your Scott McTominay's. That was the feeling with Scott McTominay. If the right offer came in for him, the club would sell him, but they're not actively looking to get rid of him. Hence the reason when West Ham came in with a 30 million quid offer, it was rejected. Because United are like, we're not desperate to sell this kid. I think Eric Ten Hag likes him. He likes him as a squad player. He does get minutes. He's had minutes this season. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Let us know what you think. Ann L says, Galatasaray gives me 93 vibes. First ever away game. In 93, was it? Was that your first ever away game? That's a great away game to go to, your first one, isn't it? I didn't go, but I was only 13 at the time, but I knew a lot of lads who did, and they said it was like, it was like a worse version of Ellen Road or Anfield. Fabian says, Martial is retiring at this FC. Stephen Butler says, if there was a list, it doesn't feel like they've done well at offloading players. Good point, that. How do you think we've done at getting rid of some players? I don't think we've set the world alight. There was talk on the beginning of this window where Maguire's going. Is Bailly still here? Bailly's not even gone, has he? No. Yeah. Like, Maguire's going, Bailly's going, probably Martial's going to go because he's not really up to scratch. Then you might have a Donny van der Beek, he's got to go. There's other players as well, and very few of them have actually gone. We haven't sold a lot of players. One player who has been linked with a move, well, he's not just been linked with a move, the club have come out and said he's not playing for United anymore, is Mason Greenwood. Now, apparently, the latest reports are that he could be going to Lazio. So he's in talks with Lazio for a potential move there. Didn't Ravel go to Lazio? He did, didn't he? Yeah, Ravel Morrison went to Lazio, didn't he? Yeah, I remember seeing. Well, I remember it. I think he even put it on his Twitter not long ago of him scoring a Panenka penalty for Lazio. So they're coming in for Mason Greenwood. Listen, they've done this statement in the club. We know that Mason Greenwood is going to move away from Manchester United. I think it'd probably do him good to get away from England. I know his problems don't just disappear when he goes abroad, but it might do him a bit of good just to move away, a fresh start, and get his career going again, because he's obviously had a lot of time off. We know why he's leaving Manchester United. We don't need to get into all that again. I'm sure you're all sick of talking about it, sick of hearing about it. But yeah, Mason Greenwood to Lazio, he's got to go somewhere, and that move might make sense all round, to be honest with you. Go out of Old Trafford, go and play your football, and if Lazio are willing to have him, then there's a player they can sign. Fergal McLennan said, it's mad that we still need more bodies in. Even with Reguilon and Amrabat, we've actually lost all fringe players more than those that are nowhere near it. For example, kept Donny, lost Fred. Good point, that. Fred was a player who got a lot of minutes, wasn't he? But we have to remember, he had a year left on his deal. I think he's 30. So that's why he went. I don't think there was like a thing where you go, oh, you know, why do we let Fred go? But I understand your point, is that you look at it and you're going, okay, well, there's a player that was useful for Manchester United. Is Donny much use for us anymore? I don't know. I mean, Eric Ten Hag knows him. He might say, okay, if you stick around, I'll give you some minutes. I think it might be a little bit different this season as well in terms of the cup competitions. Maybe in the Carabao Cup, there might be more opportunities for some fringe players, because we went all out, didn't we, almost every game last season. But with the Champions League, it's a big difference between that and Europa. Also, if we want to kick on in the league, you might just say, look, I need to use more fringe players for certain cup competitions. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Sorry, some stats there from Fred last season. 56 appearances for United. I mean, that's a lot, innit? 56. You're basically a first-team player. I know if everyone's fit, he probably doesn't start, but he played a lot. He played some good games as well, and some big games. Was it the derby at Old Trafford he played it, didn't he? Yeah, and he played really well. So I like Fred, decent player. Probably had a ceiling that wasn't high enough if you want to win titles and you have aspirations of winning titles, which United should have. But a likeable guy. Could frustrate you at times. Let's not, rewrite history about him. But always gave his all, and was a bit of, just became almost like a little bit of a mini cult hero, didn't he, to certain fans? It's a fair play to him. Get involved in the comments and the chat. Hit that like button as well. Over 300 likes. I want 400 likes. Come on, people. You can do it. Jay Frasconi says, Jay, I like to be positive, but Bayern have both of Eric Ten Hag's top 2 summer targets, and City signed a great centre-half annually. The Glazers have reduced United to a B-level club for signings. A sale is needed for meaningful change. Now, I just want to get onto this quickly, because I know some people going, and it's, oh, well, it's not the Glazers. Not a lot of people saying that, but some people say, well, it's not the Glazers, is it? It's FFP. Like, you can't just blame the Glazers because FFP is a thing and it's not their fault. That's the thing. But Kieran Maguire did a tweet a little while ago, and he said that one of the reasons United have such limits with FFP is, well, I'll read out what he tweeted. He said, some have contacted me. I spoke about this yesterday and I'll keep speaking about it. Some have contacted me why Manchester United FFP issues given Premier League limit is 105 million loss over 3 years. That's not quite the case. The limit is 15 million plus up to 90 million in equity investment by owners. The Glazer family have only put in nothing in those 3 years, so allowable loss still 15 million. So it does affect FFP when you've got owners that like the Glazers. And also, we know that it was 11 months ago, whatever it was, 10 months ago, when there was this announcement about strategic alternatives. We could have had a sale. We could have had more money in the kitty. We could have had a new owner in, and we haven't, because the Glazers agreed in. They're trying to get more money, probably a lot more money than Manchester United are actually worth, and they've just been shambolic owners, and we need to do something about that. And on that front, the 1958 are doing a protest. You can see it there, I think. It says here, transfer deadline day will be at Old Trafford from 6 p.m. This is not about flashy signings or flashy new signings. This is about a steady, systematic dismantling of fans' expectations and standards over a generation to feed their greed. Nothing changes until they go. Join us, it says tomorrow, obviously it's today, because that tweet was yesterday. Now, if you can get down to Old Trafford, great. If you can't, fine. I understand that. There'll be loads of people who can't. You can always share it. You can always talk about it on social media. I was at the protest or the sitting on Saturday. You might have seen a video there. And I think it's important to make your voice heard. If you don't like the Glazers and you want them gone, then you can make your voice heard. You can let them know. Now, some people say, oh, they're never going to listen to us. But I'd rather sit here and do something and try and make them listen rather than saying I didn't try. I didn't bother. And I don't want the Glazers to stay. I think they've been awful owners. You look at the state of the ground, you look at the state of the training facilities, you look at the state of the team over the last 10 years, the mismanagement. I think it annoys when people say, oh, well, United have spent loads of money. How have we spent that money, though? Have we spent it wisely? Have we had a structure? Have we had a strategy in place, like other clubs have? Or have we just backed managers for about 18 months and stopped backing them and then sacked them, and the new managers come in and got rid of all the old players that the manager had bought before him? We've had Ed Woodward, an investment banker, as probably our most important figure at the club for the best part of 10 years. It's ridiculous. It's just been a shambles under the Glazers' watch. They got away with it for a little while because of Sir Alex Ferguson's genius, but the sooner they're gone, the better. And this isn't me saying I prefer one owner to the next, or it's like, oh yeah, I'm all about Qatar. I've made my feelings clear about Qatar and Sheikh Jassim's bid. But I think the Glazers have been nothing but bad for Manchester United, and I can't wait to see the back of them. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about anything. Seriously says McTominay should have been kicking the door down to go and play elsewhere. Poor mentality. Do you agree with that? Do you think it is a poor mentality from Scott McTominay? He's a United lad, isn't he? He came through the academy. He might just be thinking, you know what? If a bid's not been accepted, I'm not going to start forcing a move. I'm at the club that I grew up with, and it's still the biggest club in Britain and one of the biggest clubs in the world. So I'm not going to blame McTominay for not trying to force a move. Ilias Mia says, hey Jay, I think we desperately need midfield reinforcements, and Amrabat is the perfect choice. He's different than our other options. What do you think? I don't know a lot about him, but he looks like a good signing if we can get him. Randy McNabb says, Jay, what's your perfect Sunday? My perfect Sunday is battering Arsenal. That would be my perfect Sunday. There's a press conference later on today as well where Eric Ten Hag is going to be chatting about any team news ahead of that Arsenal game. Hit that like button as well. We're almost at 400 likes. Come on. If you're watching, hit that like. Yeah? Do that. Let's do that, yeah? Let's get to 400. We're nearly there. Just before I wrap up there as well, I've put a little link in the chat. I'm doing this 60 in September thing where you run 60 miles in September for Cancer Research UK to raise money for them. So you'll see a little link there from Stretford Paddock in the chat. If you can, I know times are hard. I appreciate that. It's for a good cause. Cancer Research UK doing good stuff. Me and my boy Scotty will be doing that 2 miles a day for the next 30 days. I did it this morning. Feel great. Good job I'm not here till half 11 tonight. Oh, hang on. I am. But listen, I'm a young man, I can handle it. So we've got to 436 likes. Fantastic. That's well done, everyone. Give yourselves a big round of applause, and thanks to everyone. Some people already have donated to that link as well from the channel. They've left their comments in there, so I do appreciate that. Appreciate all your support as always, and we appreciate your support on this channel, so make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers. That's the next benchmark. And with your support, we can do it. We've got an interview with Donny coming up as well. So we'll be getting the latest on Reguilon, on Amrabat from him. Sky Sports' Donny. He's going to be telling us what's going down later on tonight as well. For the last hour of the transfer window, we're going to be going through that. We're going to be doing our deadline day countdown. Plus, in between all that, you've got the brew. And guess what? We're bringing back Uncle Webby. If you watched it last week, you saw Steve spitting his tea out laughing. I was covering my face. Webby had us in stitches with some of his stories. So we're getting him back on because everyone wanted it, including me. So don't miss out on any of that good stuff. Hit that subscribe button. I've been Jay Marty. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.